It was amazing. Like the freedom, having that freedom was scary at first. It was horrifying. But then once it came out and it was done, I was like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, James Wilson Taylor here for Rock Sound. It's the latest of our video calls. Lorna Shaw are on the cover of the latest issue of the magazine, and I'm delighted to say from the band we have both Will and Adam on the line right now. Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm
Amazing.
good. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Will, we were just talking about this before we started, but I've got to give you a shout out for that incredible background you've got going on. That is some wallpaper, my man.
Thank you. I drew it like a year ago. Yeah, I went on a drawing spree and was like, I'm just gonna draw all over my walls because like one day I'll paint over it, but like for now I'm just gonna draw all over it. It'll be great. And I actually did the whole wall, and I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of a cool background. I should use it.
That was like a quarantine project, yeah?
Yes, it was my quarantine project, exactly.
Right. Yeah, you're just like mindlessly drawing all over your wall. I remember I just kept seeing updates of whatever that is.
You see, now you know. Adam confirms it. It's true.
Yeah, and I remember like I think we just got back from tour, and it was just like photos or videos of him just like, I'm drawing on my wall, and I'm like, what? And then it's like, you're just drawing on this one? It's like, well, I've already drawn all these other walls. And I'm like, well, wait, hold on. Let's dial this back a second. You've been drawing on walls for a while. So yeah, he's been at this Pablo Picasso wallpaper for a while.
It's a good lockdown project to have, man. Keep things interesting, keep your place interesting when we're stuck there a little bit longer. I like that a lot, dude. It's good. Well, I mean, exciting time to talk to you both, man. I mean, obviously we're delighted to have you guys on the cover of the magazine at the minute, and it feels like a good moment because you guys, I guess, are starting to get back into the swing of things. There's been a lot of blockades, a lot of stoppages for everybody over the last couple of years, but I know you guys, you got to do some live shows at the end of last year. I know that you've been working on the album stuff. It must be a nice place you guys are in at the minute where it feels like things are kind of ticking along again a little bit, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely nice to go out and play shows, go on tour, because I feel like we kind of got in and got out at the right time, because then shortly after, when we were in the studio, other tours were happening, and then people were having to like end those early and everything else like that. So I think it was definitely nice to kind of feel like you're a musician again, not just like staring at computer screens every single day. So it was definitely nice to play in front of people and go on tour and do what I guess we're so used to. So definitely looking forward to being able to do more of that this year, because I'm just kind of, ironically enough, looking forward to tour, which like I would never imagine I would say that, because I'm always like, I can't wait to be home and do nothing. And then now it's just like, man, tour can't come soon enough.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, particularly when, you've had this kind of transitional moment, which we'll come on to, but also these new songs. I mean, my God, I mean, it's been said to death already, but the reaction to these new songs, dude, like it's so satisfying to see. Will, talk to me a little bit about that, because, you must have seen the huge online reaction to particularly To The Hellfire, I suppose.
Oh, dude, it blew up like out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you listen to a song a million times, you're like, oh yeah, this shit's good. But you don't think about like how, what the impact of what other people are going to think about it. So like as soon as it dropped, and then it started going like viral on Instagram, and then it was like on freaking TikTok. Then that's when it really blew up all over the place. So it was really honestly like amazing. I didn't expect it to go as huge as it did, but I couldn't be happier. Let's put it that way. We're in a good place.
Yeah, what's lovely, and you guys kind of said it a bit in the magazine interview as well, is that it's not often, a lot of the times when bands, they have kind of a bigger hit and they kind of stand out hit that they kind of get known by. It's not necessarily the one that they love the most, but you guys are so proud of this song. It's one of your proudest musical moments. It's so nice when it takes off that way and kind of has this bigger, wider success. Adam, talk to me, I guess, a little bit about beginning the writing process with that track in particular, because it feels right for you guys and felt like a real special moment, I think, so far.
I think like that was like a kind of like recycled song in the studio. Like we had the other two songs like pretty much solidified, and like that was the last song we wrote, and it was just a bunch of different parts from other things that we just kind of like threw together. Yeah, it really was. It was just kind of just like you just throw like a concoction to make a dish. It was just like, well, I have leftover chicken, I have some rice, I have this stuff, I have that stuff. Like, what do I do with it? Oh, it just makes this thing, and then you call it a burrito. And that's kind of basically how that happened, because the other two songs we went over with the fine tooth comb, and I definitely feel like if I had to rate the songs, Hellfire is probably not my favorite, but like they're all great songs. But like I think it's just, I don't know, there's maybe because there's more time into the other songs than it wasn't into that one. So it's just crazy to think that like how it turned out, but no one could have planned any of it. We didn't like sit there in the studio being like, ooh, we got this concoction, we're gonna figure it out. It's just like we just did what you do and just write a song, and then like, you know, listening to it, hearing all three songs, and it would be like this time last year when like we're just listening to the roughs of the song, and I'm starting to write the solos to it, that I'm just like, all right, cool, this is a cool song. And like that's kind of like how I felt, and I still feel like about it. But it's just crazy to think that like you may think something about something and someone else may be like, this is the greatest thing, and like vice versa. Like there's songs that like I absolutely love and all of our discography that like it just didn't go over well. So you can't really predict it. You don't really know. And I think when you try to like predict it, you're just gonna fall flat in your face. Personally, at least.
No, so true, and I guess that's the kind of key details is you guys being satisfied with it, particularly when, you know, as we've said and as everyone kind of knows, it was a big transitional period for the band. You know, Will's only kind of just come into the group at that point, and it's got to be nice to feel like with these three songs in particular, it's like, oh, this clicks, this works. You know, it's always a risk when you have these moments where things are changing around a little bit. I guess, Will, you know, how was your feeling around those early days and everything? Did it feel like there were any particular moments where it did click, or was it just a natural kind of feeling with you guys?
I remember just like sitting down in studio. They had like a couple different studios, or like one that they were actually tracking, and then one where I was just like putting rough vocals down. And like obviously hearing the songs, like I was like, oh, you know, these songs are good, but you know, you never know how when you're actually writing over it, like how it's actually going to intertwine or if they're gonna clash and whatnot. But you know, I remember as soon as I sat down and I started just like putting vocals over these songs, especially like To The Hellfire was one of the easiest ones for me, because that was the first one that I started on. It was just like it came out so naturally. It was like, all right, boom. Let me put a fast part here. Oh, boom. Look at that. Oh, this feels like this should go next. Oh, wow. Look at that. It fits perfectly with what's going on. You know what I mean? And it was really, I felt like I was one with it. You know what I mean? Like it was, I don't know what the word that it is that I'm looking for right now, but it was like it was a flow. We were flowing. Let's put it that way.
You were flowing, you were vibing. That's
yeah. Definitely were.
It's so nice when that works out like that, guys. It really is. And you can see it through on the other tracks as well, and on the EP here. I want to mention, you know, the title track on there, and I Return to Nothingness. It's a cliched question, but I am genuinely fascinated why people pick album titles, EP titles, and especially when it's already a song that's on there. Why do you pick a song like that and a title like that to sum up a grander collection? You know, talk to me, I guess, a bit about writing that title track, and again, like I say, why you thought that summed up this first taster of this new era of the band, I suppose.
So I guess that was my brainchild a little bit. I kind of got lost like in a rabbit hole for like 4 hours trying to figure out like song titles, and I remember I was just really attached to like doing like a kind of poetic structure of song names. So like the song names itself kind of make a poem, if you will, to kind of sum up and wrap up like the lyrical concepts. So obviously the album in a very simple form is Death, Afterlife, Rebirth. So, and I Return to Nothingness, it's like you returning back to the world, but like the world basically at that point in time, especially if you think about like 2020 and like early 2021, was like you were literally doing absolutely nothing. So like you're returning to just a kind of meaningless life is kind of how I saw it just personally. Not like that's what the lyrics are about, but to me it just felt like we're just returning back to what was just basically nothing. You know, you just kind of, oh great, I'm being reborn into this shitstorm that is life, you know, and that's just kind of how, and for me that's just like when I'm looking at all three titles, I'm just like, To The Hellfire EP, nah. Of the Abyss EP, that's okay, but And I Return to Nothingness, that just felt like had a strong like statement, and that just to me just kind of what stood out for me. I was like, okay, like this seems to make like the most sense.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense. And something again you guys have been talking a lot about in the magazine is the kind of the freedom of your working process here. And I mean, Will, I guess for you, obviously, you know, you won't have seen the working process going years back with the band, but you must have felt that kind of that freedom, that ease to, I guess, experiment a little bit. You know, this is quite a theatrical EP in a lot of ways. It's really interesting, the kind of juxtaposition there.
Yeah, I will tell you, I was not used to the amount of freedom that I had, because I'm used to very much working. I remember telling the band this, so I work very closely with your previous bands, and like just like everybody in the band kind of thing. So I remember specifically sitting down, like I'm hearing them working on the tracks and I'm in the other room like, all right, I got like freaking 3 album or freaking EP concepts. Like, what should we do here? And they're like, do whatever you want. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I can just do whatever I want. They're like, dude, just gotta just do whatever you want. And it'll come out whatever, like the best that you do it. You know what I mean? It's like, you have no obstructions like that are stopping you. It's gonna come out the best that you're capable of doing it. And yeah, honestly, it was amazing. Like the freedom, having that freedom was scary at first. It was horrifying. But then once it came out and it was done, I was like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And yeah, having that kind of freedom is crazy. I think that's what brings Lorna, all the little aspects of Lorna out, you know, from every single person in the band, and then brings it together to make that burrito kind of thing.
And I love the burrito metaphor. Let's keep rolling with that. It's so accurate and it does work.
Keep rolling with it. Keep play have fun.
Very good. Very strong. Like that a lot. Big fan of that. But I would imagine that freedom must have kind of rolled into what you've been working on since. You know, we know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the album's maybe not done, but you've finished recording, right? Is that the stage we're at? Interesting. Okay. I know you won't want to give away too much at this point, but again, that sense of freedom must have been there. And I imagine, well, I guess the question is actually, what have you learned from these previous 3 songs in that EP that has applied to moving into this kind of album cycle that's going to be coming up too?
Take it to 11.
Pretty much.
That's what I took from that. Like we did the EP and we were like, just take it to 11. Do it hard. And we did.
Nice.
That's how I think about it.
That's pretty much what it was. It was what we do on the EP that we liked, and then just go like, how do we do more of it? Crank to 11. I don't know. That's pretty much, honestly, that's all we really do anyway. Any album, any record, any song, just like, how do we do what we do and just crank to 11. But yeah, that was definitely like what we did, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think, I don't know, I think at the helm of my belief about doing the band is that like, there's so much of life where you don't get to do stuff on your terms. So why create an environment where you don't get to do stuff on your terms? So like, you know, why do you become a musician? Is it because you want to work in a cubicle in a box? Like, then just get a job that pays you better. You know what I'm saying? So like, if this, the big thing that's at the helm, I think, of being a musician, I think, is like having the freedom to express and be who you want to be. Like putting boxes and limitations to some degree, obviously there's going to be, someone would find some limitation of how you're putting some rigidity on it, but I think for the most part we try to be as free and open as possible, because that's kind of why we did it in the first place, is we didn't want to be confined to the norms of a 9-to-5 societal sort of job. It's just you get to do this stuff, so might as well like be as free as you see fit, rather.
Yeah, and I guess if you've got that kind of mindset, did you find that, were the tunes coming quick? Was it flowing quite naturally? Like, what was the actual working process kind of like? Oh, really?
No, I mean, honestly, if anyone had the worst time for 5 weeks, or probably longer than that, it was definitely me. I mean, I definitely was like banging my head against the wall. But I guess it's also just like it comes at a cost, because the fact that like if you don't have any rules and you can kind of do what you want to do, like then it's like anything's possible, and then it's like, well, what the hell do we do?
Right.
So it definitely is. It kind of comes with a negative side effect, but yeah, I just think that, I don't know, for me, tunes never come easy, but I think because we're putting so much of ourselves into it, I don't think it's meant to be easy. I think if we're just like logically writing songs, or like as a mathematical equation, if we need this, and just like check off boxes, then I think it would be a little bit easier. But when we're trying to like authentically express ourselves, whether it be me with music or Will with like lyrics and vocals, like you have to put a lot more of your sense of self in that, and I think that comes to be a lot harder. I think because you're just really kind of, I don't know, kind of have to go through it a little bit more, versus just like, we need to go do this type of thing. Let's go do this type of thing. And then just like, you can just check the box. We're not really checking boxes. It's more so like really trying to authentically create and express ourselves. And I think that to me is a route that's a little bit harder, at least in my opinion.
No, sure. But I mean, yeah. You know, you aim high, and then that's how you get the bigger rewards, right? It's how you get a fuller picture and a fuller record. And Will, I did want to ask you, you know, when Hellfire came out, there was just such a huge, really positive reaction to your vocal style and your approach, because, you know, people didn't necessarily know what to expect with a new vocalist, and it comes out and it's just really, really impactful. And as we said, big online reaction and all that kind of stuff. When you're approaching a fuller record like this, did you feel, I mean, clearly you must have felt a lot more at ease with it, but I guess what were your approaches to that vocal style on this? Did you feel need to mix it up in any way? What was the approach to developing those vocal lines we're going to hear?
I definitely mixed it up, and I added some new things that like I've never done before, and I've never really heard anybody do. I definitely felt like I was more prepared this time for the studio because I knew that I was going to have the freedom to kind of do whatever I wanted. So I went in a lot more prepared, lyrically wise, like the whole idea behind the album. Like I really tried to hone in on that before I came in and make sure everything was perfect. Because like I said, last time I went in with like all these different, I was like, what do I do? You know what I mean? So like this one, I really try to like hone in on that, and I think we nailed it. Honestly, it came out perfect in my opinion. It was being prepared is like the game changer, man. I'm saying obviously it goes without saying, but like I learned on this album, let's put it that way, that to be prepared is amazing. So I came in and yeah, we killed it, dude. I couldn't ask for a better fucking album.
Man, exciting times ahead, exciting times ahead. And of course, beyond the music, let's talk a little bit about live shows before I let you go. So you got this UK tour, it's going to be coming up in a couple of months. I mean, again, that's another one where you must have noticed how big the reaction's been out here. But if nothing else, the fact that you keep upgrading those rooms, boys, that's got to be a lovely, lovely feeling. Can't wait, I'm sure, to get out here and play for some UK crowds too, right?
Yeah, because like last time we played in the UK, like the world shut down. We had to just go home.
Yeah.
Like literally we like just stayed in a hotel for like 4 days waiting for our flight. And
Horrible.
So I'm kind of excited to get back over there. And it was just crazy to just like every other like week was getting email being like, do you want to upgrade this venue? It's like, sure, I guess we'll keep upgrading. And like, what? Like we were just excited just to play some shows. Did not think that like it would do as well as it did. It was like, let's just play some shows to warm up for Bring Me the Horizon, because like we don't want to just go in like cold. And then did not think that like, here's this venue. Oh, this upgrading. It's upgrading. I think like London upgraded, I think 3 or 4 times. I don't even know at this point, which is not to be like arrogant. It's just like, I just can't keep track of things. But it's just crazy to see that. And it's just awesome because like our last UK experience was horrible, not because the shows were bad, but just because we were just like stuck in a hotel outside the airport, like thinking the world's ending. And so I definitely think I'm really excited to go back over, because those shows it just sucked because like those shows were like really sick. We only played London and Scotland, and like both those shows were really, really awesome, and like we had a good time. And then I was like, damn, like just as we're just starting to catch a stride, like shows gotta stop. So I mean, I'm definitely excited to play these shows.
Yeah, guys. Now you'll be making up for lost time in a couple of months. It's going to be
Hopefully.
very, very exciting, dude. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Signs are hopeful, I think. Fingers crossed. Touch wood and all that stuff. We're looking good. Well, boys, I mean, again, congratulations on everything you're doing. Looking forward to the album. I encourage people, once again, go and check out the cover feature in the latest issue of Rock Sound with these guys in there. And yeah, take care of yourselves, boys, and we'll see you over here in the UK when you can, all right?
Thank you, James. We'll see you soon, man.
See you soon.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Always. All right. On the show, everybody.